Okay, V'Shem Hashem Na'aseh V'Natzliach. We are doing our daily Mishnah. We're on the third chapter of Orlah, Mishnah number 4, 5, and 6 we're going to do. Mr. Ganjan, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, it says Mishnah number 4. Very interesting Mishnah. Actually, my brother just had a barbecue. He was giving me a lesson on this. The taste of the charcoal you use changes the flavor of the food. Okay? Keep that in mind. So the Mishnah is saying, Tafshil shebishlo bekilpeh orlah. In the olden days, they didn't used to have gas ovens or electric gas burner. Let's say when you cooked even a cholent and you used under your pot, you use let's say an apple, the peels of an apple as the fuel, right? As the charcoal. Or let's say, even better, the peels of a pomegranate. Those are thick, very thick. You put some oil on them and you use that as your charcoal. So guess what? Let's say the pomegranates were orlah. So again, tafshil shebishlu bekalpe orlah. You were cooking a soup or a cholent, and guess what? You used as the charcoal under the pot peels of pomegranate which were orlah from the first 3 years. What's the halacha? You have to burn the food. Yidalak. Is that clear?
Yes.
Nitarev ba'acherim ya'aleh be'echad me'otayim. Guess what? Let's say this piece of cholent, this pot of cholent gets mixed with another pot of cholent. You need 101 more times of the volume of the pot of cholent then you could eat it. It would become nullified. If not, you have to burn and throw away everything. Can you believe that? The same thing, because Mr. Ganjan, it's a well-known thing. The charcoal you use gives a different flavor to the food. Even if you're cooking a soup type food. Because they somehow, the same thing, if you, the next Mishnah, let's say you have an oven now. Let's say you cook a piece of, you cook a piece of, in an oven. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now the oven, the charcoal you use to light the oven is the peels of orlah. The same thing, the pomegranates, right? Since the orlah, which is the forbidden fruits that are from a tree, for the first 3 years you're not allowed to use. And now it means that this bread was cooked by the means of something forbidden. Just like the Mishnah before, the entire bread becomes what, Mr. Ganjian? Forbidden.
Burn it.
So what do you have to do?
Burn it.
You have to burn the entire bread. You can't use the bread. Just like chametz on Pesach, you burn. This bread, since it was manufactured with the forbidden charcoal, you have to burn. And same halacha as previous Mishnah. Nit'arev ba'acherot ta'aleh be'echad u'me'atayim. You know what that means? Let's say this bread gets mixed with other breads. Unless you have 100 times more other breads, kosher breads that were made with kosher, charcoal that was not orlah. Guess what? You have to throw away all of the breads, okay? That's that Mishnah. And guess what? Our last Mishnah for today, Mishnah number 6, chapter 3, Orlah. It says, Mi shayu lo chavile tiltan shel kliyaya keren. Tiltan is fenugreek. Mr. Ganja, remember when we learned the Mishnayot in Kilayim? Let's say you plant fenugreek. It's a type of herb that the branches taste the same as the leaves. By the way, the reason I know fenugreek is because fenugreek is a type of herb that is good for women that are nursing. It increases their milk so they could nurse their baby. So let's say, Mr. Ganjan, you with Mr. Ganjan, you with me? Were you there for the Mishnah?
No, I didn't hear because it was
Oh yeah, sorry. Somebody was calling me. Mishnah 6. It says fenugreek.
Five.
Yeah, we did Mishnah 5. Mishnah 5 was about the bread.
No, it said it's 200 to 1. What you say, 100 to 1?
You're right. Everybody, I misspoke. Orlah Kilayim needs 101 times. See, this is why I just gave a class before this of why you need a chavruta. See, guys, our previous class we gave half an hour ago teaches this lesson. If you want to nullify Orlah, you need 200 times more. Thank you very much to my dear chavruta for pointing that out for me. If you have the case of the cholent that was made with charcoal, or the bread that was made with charcoal of the Orlah, the pomegranate peels, unless you have 200 times more, if it gets mixed with other bread or foods, you need 200 times more to nullify it. If not, you have to throw everything away, okay?
Yes. Nice.
Now, Mishnah number 6. Misha Ayolo Chavilet Tiltano Kilai Keren. I'm sorry, I always get mixed up between that and Kilayim. Let's say you planted. Are you allowed to plant Kilayim? Guys, it's absolutely forbidden to plant anything under your vineyard. You have to plant it at least a few feet away. I believe it's 8 feet away, 6 feet away. Now, let's say under the shadow of your vines, you plant some fenugreek. What's the halacha? Misheloya chavilet tiltan. You planted a lot of it. 25 bundles of it, which makes it a chavilah, a whole bunch full. What do you have to do? Burn it. Yidleku. Because we said the worst type of kilayim, mixing seeds, is mixing something with grapes or with grain, with bread or barley, right? With barley or oats, right? So since you planted fenugreek under your grapevine, you have to it's considered a mixture, a forbidden mixture, and you have to throw away, burn the fenugreek. Nit arvu ba'acherim kulam yitlechu. Now let's say this fenugreek got mixed with your kosher fenugreek that was not a kilayim, right? Mixed with you had not planted that under the grapevine. Rabbi Meir says you have to burn everything. Divrei Rabbi Meir. Chachamim omrim ya'alu be'achad u'ma'atayim. I stand corrected again. Even kilayim, hachavilot shel kilayim batalim be'echad u'ma'atayim. You need, like the 2 previous Mishnayot, and thank you so much for correcting me, Mr. Ganji, and I stand corrected. You need 200 times more fenugreek that was planted in its kosher way, in appropriate way, in its own field, not under the vineyard. If you don't have 200 times more, you have to burn the whole mixture. Because the rotten egg, the one that was planted under the vineyard, is going to make everything what?
Okay.
No, it's going to make everything non-kosher unless you have what? 200 times more. Because milk and meat is 60. You need 60 times more milk or meat to get a rate when you have milk and meat. But for kilayim and for orla, you need how much more? You're right, 200 times more. Okay, thank you everybody for watching. Chazak Baruch, be well.
Rabbi.